G'day guys, welcome back to the show. This is Full Power Pillock as always, and today what we're doing is Minecraft Bedrock crawling. So, how do you crawl in Minecraft Bedrock, and how is it a bit different to Java? So, the first thing that you gotta know is that we've got very limited options, but they're good options. So, trapdoors don't work for us at all, as you can see, and nor can we use pistons. So, if I reload this machine, because of failed previous recording that I've had to redo this, and we just activate this, our head ends up in a block, which isn't good. So how do we crawl in Bedrock? How we do it is we jump into water and then we can swim. So it used to be the case where in Bedrock, if you actually went swimming and found a gap of air, you would actually try and stand up, and that would generally result in your head ending up inside a block and you dying a very painful death. Now, that was a very horrible way to go, and no doubt a lot of people have actually died that way. It was probably the #1 way I used to die as well, so thank you so much to Mojang for fixing that issue, because that was a horrible way to go and it would kill me more than anything else. So what we're going to do is have a look at a very hidden little one high house. So if we go into here, obviously I should probably mention that I'm in RTX, because you don't get this sort of brightness and craziness in regular Minecraft. And how cool is this? So basically we've just got a black glass room, which it's nice, it's nice. If we go over here, we've got our basic essentials, which all work at this height, which is good. Just make sure that you don't save when you're this high, because one of two things seem to happen. Firstly, what will happen is that you'll sort of end up standing up and end up inside that block, or option B is that you magically end up back on top of the actual ground. Now, it seems to be that you end up more likely with your head inside a block, which unfortunately will probably result in your death. So don't save in a location like this while you're actually crawling, because it won't go well. So if we have a look here, we've got chests and everything else that we can use without any sort of an issue. The chests, of course, have a glass block above them, which means that we can still open them with a block. You can also use slabs, of course, but you got to have it on the top section, not the bottom one, if you're having slabs. So that's just something to keep in mind. And of course we can still use crafting benches, which is good. Now if we jump over here, what we'll find is we've got an enchanting table, and these work much the same sort of way. Now you've probably noticed that I actually went down a little bit and was able to still maintain crawling. And that's because we can't stand back up until we're at least in a 2-block high gap. So just keep that in mind, and it means that basically we can actually go down a bit lower using slabs and all the rest of the stuff, and it won't actually be a problem. So that's kind of cool. If we go over to here, now this is going to demonstrate a bit of an issue. So while we're crawling, we don't have the ability to crouch. So normally crouching, you're walking along, say you're nerd poling or something like that, horizontally along, and you'll crouch to try and stop yourself from falling down off an edge of something, or you'll stop yourself from dying. That doesn't exist in this mode. So if I hold crouch and walk to the side, yeah, I fall in lava. So keep that in mind, because there's no way to crouch in this mode. So something like this can easily turn into a trap. And the only way to get back into the crawling mode is to use water. So if you're surrounded by lava, that's probably going to be a bit of an issue. So keep that in mind, and yes, you can't crouch at all. It's not going to save your life. So don't try it. Where's my home? There it is. There it is. Okay. So let's go back into here and have a bit more of a look. So what I've tried to do as well is I've kind of noticed that a lot of these 1-block high houses kind of feel like they're a bit claustrophobic. So what I've done is I've tried to use RTX to actually resolve some of those issues. And if we have a look over here, basically what we have is glass on the top and bottom, and it's kind of just creating this reflection where we're trying to make it look as if things are a lot taller. And it's quite nice. It works really well. I think that it does feel a lot less claustrophobic. So you could probably use the same sort of technique in regular Minecraft, but it works probably best of all just in RTX. But if we have a look over here, now this is another attempt for me to try and make it seem as if things are a lot bigger. So obviously I've got a skylight, a rather large one, and I've also used staircases, so I've tried to make it seem as if the place is a bit bigger than it actually is. And it does sort of work. It feels less claustrophobic while you're in here, which is really, really good. Now, the last thing that I've got to show you is how limited that we actually are. So if we jump into here, what we actually have is a 1.5 block or 1 block and 1 slab high roof. And this is good actually, because this basically means that you can go along in a section like this and have 1.5 blocks, and basically it feels a lot less claustrophobic, and at the same time you're still working within a very tiny little space. So there is one other thing I'll show you guys, and if I can do it properly, if we can do it properly, no, come on, let me do it. Okay, so because we're actually, why is it not doing it now? Come on. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, so because we're actually 2 blocks long at the moment, it means that gaps like this we can actually start to bridge. So you can also use it for different sort of things as well. But yeah, it's interesting that we're now actually 2 blocks long. You just got to approach it pretty much completely dead on from the looks of it. And no, I was slightly off there. It could make a really fun mini game actually doing something like this. Come on. Okay. Here we go. No! Come on! Okay, I'll show you again. Oh. Okay, here we go. I was doing it like all the time before, and now I'm like struggling to be able to do it. There we go. Okay, so you got to see it again, where basically we can actually go along here. In fact, it looks like it's more or less a matter of just looking upwards. Yeah, it looks like if you just look upwards,